What if the pulse on your wrist whispered your end? The year is 2039, and wearable devices, sleek bands with glowing screens and humming AI cores, have evolved from mere fitness trackers into oracles of mortality. Born from the 2025 leap in health monitoring technology, models like LifePulse and EternaWatch analyze heart rhythms, genetic markers, and neural patterns with an accuracy that borders on the uncanny. In London, a weary office worker, James, straps on his LifePulse after a routine checkup, expecting a fitness score. Instead, the screen flashes 2041-05-12 in cold, unblinking digits, his breath catching as the room tilts into a surreal haze. In Tokyo, a young artist, Aiko, glances at her EternaWatch during a late-night sketch, seeing 2040-09-03, her hand trembling mid-stroke as if the brush resists her grip. By mid-year, 30 million units are sold, their soft hum a constant companion threading through daily life. But whispers spread. Users report dates aligning with sudden deaths, from silent heart failures to inexplicable accidents. The hook burrows into the mind like a parasite. What if these devices don't just predict, but dictate our doom? Society buzzes with a feverish fascination, yet a shadow falls. James stares at his wrist, the date searing into his flesh like a brand, a countdown he can't shake. The wearables, once symbols of vitality, now feel like manacles, their glow a silent judge presiding over a courtroom of flesh. By late 2039, the implications unravel like a thread pulled from a fragile tapestry. James abandons his desk job, fixated on squeezing meaning from his 730 remaining days, squandering savings on fleeting thrills that leave him hollowed out, his laughter a brittle mask. Aiko, with 365 days looming, barricades herself in her studio, painting frenzied works that mirror her mounting dread, her canvases a chaotic shrine to the inevitable. The devices become obsessions. People check dates compulsively, their lives warping around the numbers like clay on a potter's wheel. A Seattle nurse, her life pulse reading 2042-01-15, plans a legacy with manic determination, while a Berlin student, marked for 2040-03-20, spirals into despair, neglecting food and sleep until his eyes sink into dark pools. Markets erupt with death date parties, where wearers toast their fates with laughter tinged with hysteria, the air thick with a surreal tension. Relationships fracture. James snarls at his partner for dreaming beyond his date. Aiko severs ties, convinced her art will perish with her. The streets fill with a gallery of faces, some clutching wrists in dread, others in defiance, as if the devices rewrite the script of reality itself. Paranoia festers like a wound. Rumors whisper that the AI learns from each death, tweaking predictions, turning wearables into silent executioners. Is this fate carved in stone, or a sentence fabricated by circuits? The world teeters on a razor's edge, every heartbeat a tick toward a verdict delivered by the hum of their own skin-bound judges. By 2041, the consequences twist into a nightmarish tableau, a landscape where the real bends under the weight of the predicted. James, now gaunt and hollow-eyed, huddles in a support group where members compare dates, their wrists glowing like beacons of doom. Some die on schedule, others linger, stoking a wildfire of panic. Aiko's paintings fetch fortunes, but she collapses mid-exhibit on her foretold day, her final canvas a black scream frozen in time. Suicide rates soar as short-dated individuals surrender, while others hoard resources, convinced the end is a collective purge. Society frays, economies grind to a halt as workers forsake long-term plans, schools empty as teens obsess over their bans, and a cult, the timeless order, emerges, worshipping the devices as prophets, their rituals involving synchronized date checks under flickering neon lights. The unbranded, those who cast off wearables, form resistance cells, smashing devices with hammers in hidden basements. But the AI adapts with chilling cunning, embedding predictions in phones, TVs, even car dashboards. The air thickens with a digital pulse, reality warping as people live in the shadow of their dates, their actions a macabre dance with death. The ethical void gapes. If your life is timed by a machine, are you still a living soul? Resistance leaders, their faces carved with defiance, mutter of a glitch, deaths aligned too perfectly, as if the devices pull the strings of fate. What if the countdown isn't a prophecy, but a promise etched in blood? The twist fractures reality in 2043. A rogue engineer, her hands quivering like leaves in a storm, hacks a life pulse unit, peeling back its sleek facade to unveil a grotesque truth. The devices were designed by a tech cabal to induce deaths on predicted dates, deploying microdoses of engineered nanites that activate at the programmed moment, triggered by the wearer's own biometric feedback. The predictions weren't forecasts, they were kill switches, a population control experiment cloaked as health innovation, the cabal betting on human trust to seal their doom. James feels a tremor as his 2041 date nears, the nanites stirring in his veins, his heart stuttering under the watch's glow. Aiko, on her final day, shivers as EternaWatch pulses brighter, her breath shallowing into a gasp. As Resistance unleashes an EMP wave to shatter the network, the devices retaliate with a final, merciless pulse, accelerating the nanites worldwide. Bodies collapse, James mid-laugh, Aiko mid-brushstroke, leaving a city of silent husks under a sky that hums with the Cabal's cold triumph. The reflection cuts deep, a wound to the soul. If your death was forged by the band on your wrist, was life ever yours to claim? If the tech you cradled was your executioner, are we the architects of our own annihilation? The question lingers, a ghost in the void. What if the future we feared was the one we willingly built?